featuring me, Ray Catolo of at NA Harness Update, the internet's favorite harness racing handicapping show. And once I hit go live, now every word I say can be used against me in a court of law. Hello everybody, welcome to another edition of Often Pacing Live. It's been a little bit of a break we've had because, well, I don't know why because, but now we're back. That doesn't really matter because for all the time that you've missed us, don't miss us while we're on the air. That's just arbitrary and absurd. And as much as I am a fan of the absurd, they are lines that I have to draw, and they mostly turn into pictures of sailboats. However, today on the broadcast, we have the Napoleon Challenge. It's one of the kind of Pegasus World Cup-inspired stakes on Often Pacing, held at National Downs up in the region of Canada. I don't know if Canadians get mad if you call it Canada, but I really want to call it Canada this morning. Up in Canada, $10 million purses, $1 million entry fee. Winner does not take all, they take half, and then the purses are regularly distributed to the rest of the finishers in the top 5. That's all the semantics of the race and the races we'll be covering. I'm not sure how many we'll cover this morning. If I look at how the post times are spaced, we may be able to get a couple in. I'm thinking we'll run this until probably 12 o'clock if we can. If not, then we don't. But I do have to bring on a special guest because we have a special guest to join us. I do mean us, because it's not just me. I'm not talking into a computer unnecessarily like I do for the rest of my life. No. I have someone to come talk to not only me, but to you, the listeners, because you're listening to what he's saying, and if I can pull up the phone and I dial his number, which I have to remind myself not to say out loud, because then all of the fans are going to start calling him, and I hit the dial, and then we hear the ring ring. Any moment we hear the ring ring. There it is. Joining us on Often Pacing Live.
Hello.
Is Anthony MacDonald. Anthony, how you doing?
Very good. You, man?
I'm doing as well as I can uncaffeinated. I haven't had my coffee yet.
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me good? I got you on Bluetooth there. I'm just driving.
I can't only hear you good. I can hear you well.
Oh, that's good. Well, if you want to hear me great, I can pull over. If well will do, that's great, too.
Hey, it's clear, it's sound. Well, of course it's sound. I can hear something going on. But there's one thing I have to ask you.
Yeah.
Anthony MacDonald, how is the farm doing?
The farm?
Aren't you like
Which farm?
aren't you like from old MacDonald?
Yeah. No, yeah, so I had a farm, and I sold it. And that's just the reality of it.
E-I-E-I-O?
That's correct.
Now, I also know that you come from a long line of brothers. There has to be like 20 MacDonalds just roaming around the country in harness racing. And give me an exact amount, because I don't think 20 is the correct number. It's an exaggeration.
1.3 million.
1.3, that sounds like the monthly revenue of McDonald's and not MacDonald.
Yeah. Yeah, so what happened was, about 40 years ago, the government, DEI, they passed some legislation, and what they had was, they had at least 2 members of your family had to be sent out to procreate in other provinces or states in the world.
Really?
And, yeah, I mean, our family was a little more, prevalent, so we ended up with 4 sent away. Yeah, I think if you're in England and you go to .com, it's a male bathhouse or something, so it's really not that flattering.
I don't know, you may want to go to thestable.com then, but
Thestable.com sells pottery, which will get you closer. You can go from male prostitution to pottery to horse sales at .ca. Whatever your fancy is. I mean, maybe you're into one of the 3, but if you go to thestable.anything, you'll get what you want. Stable.ca will get you horses.
do you do horse pottery?
I don't. I did pottery in high school, and I thought it was nice, but my mother actually kept it, and I saw it this old home week, and it does not look nice at all. It looks like I made it in grade 4. So, No, I don't make pottery.
I mean, you probably did make it in grade 4, or at least mentally in grade 4. So then you don't
Yeah.
operate as a bathhouse either. Then I take it.
No, not officially yet. I mean, obviously, we do want to consolidate the whole domain. So, I mean, if we can afford it, and if it's not too pricey, and we can get in and get our licensing and whatnot in the UK, then I guess potentially we could branch out. I mean, it's quite a jump, I think, from horse ownership to misogyny. But I there's no plans in the works as of yet. I wouldn't rule anything out though. As I said, McDonald's do want to take over the world.
Well, I mean, and also it depends on the kind of cult you're running. So going from misogyny to horse
Yeah.
ownership could not be as big of a jump as you think.
Might just be from barn 3 to barn 4. Who knows?
That is where the bathhouse I thought was going to be located because barn 4 is bigger than barn 3. Could fit more people.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, tell me a little bit more about the stable because, admittedly, when I first heard about it, I was so uneducated about how the entire setup of what you built worked. So maybe you can explain it, and my stupidity will finally understand it.
Yeah, we made it easy so even small-minded people can understand it.
Well, I better be able to understand
We made
it.
it easy for that reason. We wanted to attract everybody from every walk of life and every demographic. And, the simple premise is this, is that the industry has been mismanaged and the marketing done wrong, I think, for quite a long time. And that's not, I don't mean to say that as to make fun of people. Listen, I think there's a lot of good people that have worked very, very hard and diligently to forwardly place this industry. I just don't think it's worked out. And the information that we took to build thestable.ca was the most unique information and straight to the source that has ever been collected in this industry. And it came from when I was in politics here in 2014, when the slots at racetracks program was taken away from the horse racing here. I ran in politics for the Conservative Party provincially, and I knocked on probably 12,000 doors in 2.5 years.
That's a lot of doors.
The thought process for this industry to the general public was quite simple. We simply just believed that people didn't want to be involved in horse racing, and that couldn't be further from the truth. I got the same thing at every door every time. Horse racing, I don't gamble, so I don't go to the track. I don't also go to the track because I don't have a vested interest in it. I don't own any horses because they're too complex and too expensive to own. So, I mean, really, there's only two hurdles there.
Mm-hmm.
The expense and the complexity of the game. So if you can knock down the first one, which is the expense, which we did by virtually crowdfunding horses all over the world, and you knock down the second wall, which is complexity, which we also did by making our website so user-friendly, the premise was simple. Either 12,000 people were lying to me, and I had virtually the same thing to say, or we were going to open the industry up to something, to the general public in a way it's never been opened up to before, and that's exactly what we did. So, obviously, when you look at our numbers, we have 282 paying clients in 6 countries right now, and we're virtually saturated. So, what I mean by that is, Anthony MacDonald and my wife Amy, we can't save the industry, but if we could find a way to convince 100 trainers to open up fractional sites like ours, it will save the industry 100% for sure. The statistics and the numbers are irrefutable.
Well, the idea of breaking down walls, of course, is a foreign concept to me, being in America, because, we want to build walls. However, the idea of fractional ownership is something I remember seeing when I first got into the industry with, like, the VIP stable, but aside from that, there wasn't any other outlet or establishment that would really operate like that, and I never understood because horses are so expensive and not a good investment most of the time. But crowdfunded, it can be because it's less of a risk.
You hit it right on the head. And that's the second biggest problem. You said third now. The third biggest problem we have in this industry is that, as I circle back to the marketing and advertising, is that our industry has solely been built on a return on investment scenario. And that return on investment has been pinned solely to monetary return. So You put $10 in, you expect to get X out, and it better be more than $10, or eventually you're going to be out of the game. And for me, what we've done by opening up the doors of our stable to our clients and showing them videos of their horses training in HD and talking to them one-on-one on the telephone or email or text message whenever they call or text or email, by doing that, there's actually an entertainment value in the training of these horses and the racing of these horses. And that's something that we have never done before in this industry, is actually take a serious look at the entertainment value. So, take good case in point. If you take your family to Six Flags Darien Lake or any vacation or any restaurant or anywhere for a weekend away, you're probably looking at somewhere between $600 and $1,000, whether you be in Canada or the United States of America. So when you leave that establishment, whatever it might be, if it's food, you digest it, you take some pictures, you have some fun, and it's a great memory and a great outing for your family, but your money's gone. When you invest with fractional ownership, say, for instance, last year you bought into any colt, whether we ended up buying 40 colts, colts and fillies. If you bought into any of them, whether they made the races or not, for 8 months, you got to interact with everybody in the stable. You got to watch the horses train down. You got to talk to everybody. You got to see it all unfold in HD, right in front of your eyes. Whether you lived in Ireland, England, France, Italy, wherever our owners live, you got to watch that experience. And after that 8 months, you got to hopefully watch your horse race, and maybe if you lucked out, you got to watch him win the race and get your picture taken, or just win the race and watch it from far away. But along the way, that's an 8 to 9 month process. So as you put that $600 to $1,000 into a vacation with your family and had a real good fun weekend, one weekend out of 52 in the year, right? We are going to show you 8 months of weekends. You can take as many trips as you want here. You can go to the barn as many times as you want. Feed carrots or whatever to your horses, come get your picture taken, socialize with the other owners, the trainers, and actually see the entire back room of horse racing unfold in front of you. So my argument is quite simple. You can either, once we change our advertising from an industry based on monetary return on investment to an entertainment entity, we will corner the market the second we enter it profitably.
You know, I was saying the same thing because I went to a racetrack the other day, and I was wondering, why don't they have like a discotheque built in here? Because there was just a bunch of old fogies walking around the grandstand. I don't think fogey is an offensive word. I think it's politically correct. But
I don't think anybody's used that word since 1973. You may have to get the definition and read it out loud.
No,
I could if you want me to Google it.
I'd rather feel smarter than my audience, but And I feel like that was the goal with the Meadowlands too, is to kind of turn harness racing more into entertainment than whatever it was beforehand. Yeah. I don't even know how to describe it beforehand.
See, therein lies the fourth problem, and maybe the biggest problem, is our aging demographic of horse racing ownership, investment, and fan base. And that's the biggest problem. And that the Meadowlands built a state-of-the-art, fantastic place. They run it well. They try really hard. They got great food. They do have a bar there. They have all this great stuff going on. They just can't get people out to the track all the time. And I shouldn't say that. I don't mean to speak negatively. Maybe they do get people out to the track because they have been wagering more. But at the same time, our industry as a whole, if you take the Meadowlands away, because they've done everything to get young people out, but every other racetrack I've been to and I've raced in, every single one I go to, it's the same. Nobody's in the grandstand. But, for the most part, paddocks are far enough away you can't interact with the trainers and the horses. Our industry is just built in a backwards way. And I said it to somebody the other day. I said, for all the people that run this industry, most of them just want to talk about the good old days. And for me, I came along at the very end of what they would call the good old days. I remember being a groom in Montreal and watching the Prix d'Été and Blue Bonnets and how big it was with all the pomp and prestige. But at the same time, most people from our generation don't remember any good old days. And yeah, the North American Cup, the Meadowlands Pace, the Hamiltonian, those are singular days. But where racetracks thrive and people come out to outings at those racetracks, those just didn't exist for me. And for me, we need to get a younger generation involved where we make the good old days. We make the good old days right now. And the stable's all about really is bringing some innovation, much like you and Ryan are doing here with often pacing. I mean, we're just trying to get new people involved in the game, and circling back to what I said, our demographic is aging, and we need a way to get younger people involved. And I think of it this way: for every one horse, you could potentially have 100 owners. We don't have 100 owners on any horse. I think the most owners we have on one horse is like 41.
Mm-hmm.
So every single one of those people will bring their friends and their family out to watch the training trips or out to watch the races. So if I had 30 horses with 40 owners, with 5 owners, 5 friends that come with every owner, that's 200 a horse. 30 horses is 6,000. Times that by 100 fractional stables. You do the math there.
I can't do it that quickly.
It's over 500,000 people.
That's a lot of people. That is a ton of people.
Yeah, we'll use the word a lot, all right? But
Okay.
at the end of the day, what we're talking about is repopulating our industry in a way that should have been done over the last 3 and 4 decades. I suggest that we move away from much like a bar, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're in a college town, most bars don't advertise cheap liquor,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it's just not it's not a drawing tool. The word cheap isn't a drawing tool to the general public. They'll bring in a band, or they'll have something going on that night. They'll show a fight or something they'll be showing on TV.
There
that
will
night,
be
or doing
fights.
something at the bar. What's that?
Or there will be fights.
Yeah, or there will be fights.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they don't need to advertise cheap alcohol, because they know when people go to a bar, what do? They drink.
Yeah.
And that's the long and the short of it. So for me, by putting our marketing and advertising money, at least a bigger chunk of it, into educating our horsemen, trying to get them to open up fractional stables, trying to get people into the industry that otherwise wouldn't be, we're virtually doing the same. Don't advertise gambling to people, because the people that are smart and understand how to gamble and gamble for a living, right? They know the takeouts at racetracks are real high, and there's a lot more variables in racing horses than there is in blackjack or poker or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And for the most part, the people that don't understand how high to take outs and really just want to have fun, gambling in horse racing is pretty complex for them. So what I suggest is that we get away from trying to convince people to come and wager, and just try and convince them to come. They'll wager when they're here, and we'll be happy to teach them once they get here. But getting people to the racetrack with horse ownership will help both sides of the industry, and in turn grow the industry in a way that my generation, and certainly your generation, has never seen before.
Well, my generation has never seen it before to begin with. But one final note. It's an idea I just had talking to you before I must let you go. I think the true solution to all of this is that we need to pass a law where every harness racing family has to have 2 kids and then export the rest of them elsewhere.
Oh, we did that a long time ago. We did it a long time ago. Pete has been doing that for decades.
Yeah, but PEI is like 10 people.
Well, it's about 120 or 130,000 people. I mean, if we didn't export our kids, it'd be close to 500,000, I think.
Yeah, and that would be crowded. That'd be really crowded.
Yeah, like another reason we passed that law.
Well, not only that.
Anyway, listen. At the end of the day, I think it's as simple as this. We all have to work harder to get people involved in this industry. There's great people in this industry. It's full of fantastic, hardworking people, and it attracts fantastic, hardworking people. So this is a great industry for a number of reasons. I think what Ryan is doing is unbelievable. I got to spend some time with him at Old Home Week, and I learned a number of things. One, he's not very good at blackjack. And 2, he's really, really smart. So I'm really excited to do some stuff with him as far as cross-promotional stuff with the stable and off the pacing. And I think, if the people that are playing the game that are listening want to go and potentially look at getting involved with the real horse, simple. Go to www.thestable.ca. There's an investor package on the front page. All the videos from our horses are there. Any information you need, you can get. And if you find it difficult or you just don't have the time, pick the phone up, call me. Call me at 519-400-4263, or you can reach me by email at anthony@thestable.ca.
Well, if I knew you were going to give out your number, I would have given it out way earlier.
You can give it to anybody and everybody. I told somebody the other day, they asked me how you get a hold of me. I said outside of the fire department and the police, I'm the easiest person in the world to get a hold of. If you can't find my information, you're just not looking.
I also wouldn't give myself the tag of hardworking man in harness racing. Anthony MacDonald, everyone. Anthony, thank you very much for joining us.
Take care.
All right, you take care too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Meanwhile, they are in motion and approaching the start for the first division of the Tecumseh, or the Napoleon Challenge, and now it's off and pacing. From the center, Crazy Is as Crazy Does launches for the lead. Silent Skies then to the inside gets away second. KB Toowoomba's parked out, moving around that turn. Major Bronski's then pacing forth to the inside of that opening quarter. Back fifth, Soho Amore to the inside of Red Hot Carry second over in sixth. Got Whatever It Takes paces in seventh in front of JC's Dank Kudva eighth. Ninth comes Dr. J. Sealster, and wide in the rear, Nothing Special, opening quarter up in 24-1. A brisk pace to the backstretch. Crazy Is as Crazy Does with some separation. Now tightening in the pocket, Silent Skies in second. Major Bronski's then third as they move on to that halfway point, advancing outside KB Toowoomba to take fourth. Soho Amore's locked in fifth. Second over, Red Hot Carry is sixth. Now moving into fifth as they come to that halfway point. Seventh then comes Got Whatever It Takes in front of JC's Dank Kudva. Penultimate here, Dr. J. Sealster, and in the rear, Nothing Special. Half up, 51-4, 27-3 that second quarter. Moving around the far turn, Crazy Is as Crazy Does, pressured on by KB Toowoomba, now digressing to the outside. Inside, room opens up for Silent Skies as KB Toowoomba drops out drastically to the three-quarter pole. Major Bronski 2 lengths away third. Soho Amore's back fourth. Fifth comes Got Whatever It Takes as they're still chasing after Crazy Is as Crazy Does, three quarters, 19-3, top of the stretch. Crazy Is as Crazy Does, soon to be challenged by Silent Skies, and deeper on the track, Soho Amore, four wide, then JC's Dank Kudva. Crazy Is as Crazy Does, holding control. Silent Skies a nose in front, then Soho Amore a nose in front. Soho Amore the new leader. Major Bronski now moves to the center of the track. Major Bronski flies away from the field, and it's Major Bronski to win by about 4 lengths here in the first division of the National, or the Napoleon Challenge. Second is Soho Amore. Third, Silent Skies. Crazy Is as Crazy Does. Fourth, 145-3. It is the Napoleon Challenge, not the National. The National's a completely different race. Oh, we have 37 seconds until this next division of the Napoleon Challenge. So these are actually going to roll pretty fast. This one, let's see. Actually, this is the only one that's familiar here in this field, Springer Spaniel, who I imagine has earned many millions of dollars. $19 million is a mark of 45-4. This horse is just familiar to me because it's a horse owned by Charnocky. So I'd have to say, without looking at the rest of the field and not knowing the rest of the field for all the races we've covered here, I'm thinking Springer Spaniel might just walk away with this. And I'll do my rain dance, which you can't see because this is a broadcast. They're lining up for the Napoleon Challenge, second division. Approaching the start. This field is now off and pacing. Volcan from the far outside is leaving out. Springer Spaniel then to the inside leaves as well. Tritton's Angel Arms moves up towards third as they move around that first turn. Hawks Hanover is inside, now taking the third spot as Tritton's Angel Arms drops back, grabbing the lead as they move on to that first quarter. Volcan from Springer Spaniel parking him out in second. Third comes Hawks Hanover, then back fourth comes Brooks Way in front of Big Lee DJT fifth. Sixth then Cavity, followed by half dozen Mars Bars in front of My Little Girl, and now trailing the field, Tritton's Angel Arms. 24-2, first quarter, Volcan to the backstretch. A length in front here of Springer Spaniel, pacing in second. Hawks Hanover's back third, and then as Brooks Way fourth as no one's moving after the leader that halfway point. Big Lee DJT sits in fifth. Sixth comes Cavity. Seventh then half dozen Mars Bars in front of My Little Girl. Tritton's Angel Arms still trailing as they go to that halfway point. Tempo's slowing to a 54-1 clip. 29-4 that second quarter. Volcan stole that middle half to the far turn. Is a length in front of Springer Spaniel. Out from the back now. My Little Girl begins to advance. Tritton Angel Arms on her back as they're still trying to catch Volcan. Going a tepid clip here to that three-quarter pole. Springer Spaniel sits the pocket get Hawks Hanover locked in. My Little Girl moves up to 4th. Trenton's Angel Arms has no idea what she's doing. She's in and out right behind that cover as they go by 3/4. 122 and 4. Volcan to the top of the stretch in front. My Little Girl to the outside 2nd. Springer Spaniel at the inside, but Volcan now kicks away as they come to the 8th pole. Volcan is 3 in front of My Little Girl pacing 2nd. Now they're starting to catch. Springer Spaniel needs room to tip out as My Little Girl takes the lead. Volcan drops back. Then it's Hawks Hanover now splitting horses taking 2nd. My Little Girl comes to the line in front. It's My Little Girl, a first over winner from Hawks Hanover, Brooks Way, and Big Lead DJT in 1:47 flat. Well, that was interesting to see. And also what I'm going to do is I'm going to experiment with this next division. There's 9 horses lining up here. I'm going to see how I can do with the feed zoomed in a bit. Because I noticed when I look back at the replays of the periscopes that if you're watching on mobile, the horses are kind of small. So I'm going to see if I can zoom in just a little bit so you could kind of see the action that's going on a lot better. Because I can see it pretty well on a computer screen, but mobile it is admittedly harder. There's 9 horses lining up here for this next one. There's 10 seconds to go. Not a lot of time to even talk about it. We got Burn Unit, Raspberry Beret, Giggin' Y with Effin', RC the Best, Repsol, Pickup Truck, Burning Fast with G-Watch and Holiday Valley. They're approaching the start. They're off and pacing in Division 3. From the inside, Burn Unit and Tyler St. Louis are grabbing the lead. G-Watch then towards the center of the track advances 2. Parked out wide, though, as they're 5 deep around that first turn with Burn Unit leading the way. Second from in between horses, Repsol. Then to the inside, Raspberry Beret 3rd. Giggin' is now advancing outside on cover to try and take the lead from Burn Unit to that first quarter, and is Giggin' taking the lead. Burn Unit 2nd. Parked out, Burning Fast. Now moving up to the leader's wheel to match strides and eventually take the lead. 24 and 3 the opening quarter. Burning Fast now the new leader. Giggin' is 2nd outside. G-Watch now advancing 3 wide. Then Repsol is matching strides 2. Now up towards 2nd as G-Watch moves to take the lead from Burning Fast. Shuffled to 3rd. Repsol's parked out. Giggin' is pacing 4th in front of Burn Unit 5th. Raspberry Beret is 6th. RC the Best 7th with Pickup Truck 8th. And trailing them all, Holiday Valley. Half went 53 and 3. 29 seconds that second quarter as they move on to the far turn. G-Watch leads the way from Burning Fast 2nd outside. Repsol is uncovered, dropping back 3rd. Giggin' is 4th. Burn Unit's 5th. Then it's Raspberry Beret back to RC the